Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Have a very good day. Our lecture number 18. In this lecture, we shall move towards a new method, that is Faraday's method. Before going into detail of this method, we shall talk a bit about Gauss balance. Then we shall study about Faraday's method and underlying principle that is used for the determination of magnetic susceptibility. From this method, then we shall see assembly or apparatus or arrangement that have been made to determine magnetic susceptibility of an unknown material by using Faraday's method. And in the second last segment of this lecture, we shall discuss about a comparative study between Gauss and Faraday's method, and in the end there are some assignment questions from this lecture. Experimental determination of magnetic susceptibility by Gauss method. As we know that Gauss method is most simple and hence it is most commonly used in different laboratories for determination of volume as well as gram susceptibility. The conventional Gauss method is used to record volume magnetic susceptibility, but modified Gauss method is used to determine uh, gram susceptibility. A thin cylindrical glass tube filled with the sample is vertically suspended. An electromagnet placed under the table uh, and the upper end lies in a negligible field, that is magnetic field at the upper end of the tube is zero. The weight of the sample is determined with the field off and with the field on. Similar determination is also made with the same sample tube so as to allow for a diamagnetic correction of the glass tube. This slide is usually an extra addition in this lecture, but I added this material to make a connection between previous lecture and this lecture. Gram susceptibility is equal to volume susceptibility over density. That means we can write psi g is equal to psi over density. In this equation that we find after integration, force is equal to cross-sectional area into psi, but here we have mentioned G as a subscript. There is a little bit missing in this slide, but that's why I am going to repeat the factor at the top left hand side. With now, since there is written psi G, and in the second equation after capital A, the factor is psi G into D into half of h square minus h naught. As we know, density is equal to mass over volume, so we can write since Since the force acting on the sample is measured as change in weight of the sample in the magnetic field, the above equation now will become as psi g is equal to 2L into change in weight of the sample over h square into weight of the sample, or psi m is equal to 2L into change in weight of the sample over h square into weight of the sample multiplied by molar weight R of the sample. It means this gram susceptibility can be converted into molar susceptibility by just multiplying with molar weight of the sample. The quantity 2L over h square is called tube calibration constant. This constant is first determined by taking a measurement on a On a standard substance such as copper sulfate, whose gram susceptibility is 5.92 into 10 raised to power minus 6 in CGS units, and tetraisocyan mercury tetraisocyanate cobaltate, whose gram susceptibility is 16.44 into 10 raised to power minus 6 CGS in units, for which Psi G is accurately determined. The same tube is then cleaned and used to determine Psi G of substance under investigation. As I told you in second last lecture that the cleanliness or cleansing of glass tube is carried out with chromic acid. Chromic acid is not stable in its original form. It is always produced in situ by mixing potassium dichromate and sulfuric acid. For paramagnetic substances, the value of Ψm as calculated from above equation is corrected for the diamagnetism of the ligands using Pascal constants. The corrected value of Ψm, represented by Ψm corrected, is then used to calculate effective magnetic moment. Mu effective with the help of Curie equation is given below. Mu effective is equal to 2.83 under root of psi m corrected into temperature minus theta. This is actually Curie V's equation in Bohr magneton. Now, at last or at least, we are going to switch the second way of measurement of magnetic susceptibility, that is Faraday's method. This is a basic method that is slightly different from Guy's method. In this method, inhomogeneous mixture is used, while in case of Guy's method, homogeneous mixture is used. As far as principle of this method is concerned, if the poles of a magnet are inclined not straight towards each other, then there is a production of an inhomogeneous magnetic field with an axis of symmetry. Here is a schematic representation of Faraday's balance, but before going into schematic representation of Faraday's balance, first you look at the right bottom of this slide. In this bottom, you can see the two poles of a magnet that are placed right angle to each other. That is the arrangement of gas bands. Now we shall move towards top left of this diagram. You can see the two poles of magnet are not straight away to each other. They are inclined towards each other, and sample is placed somewhere in the center of uh, this diagram. These inclined magnets produce an inhomogeneous magnetic field. Appropriately shaped pole pieces. An inhomogeneous magnetic field may be obtained with more convenience between appropriately shaped pole pieces. Faraday's balance using vertical suspension from a silica spiral spring. As you can see, there is at the top of this diagram there is a mechanical control, and you can see there is a spiral silica cord which is used to hold the sample, and sample is shown with an arrow as somewhere in the middle of this inhomogeneous magnetic field. Sample in small amount, while Guy's method sample while in Guy's method larger amount of sample is required. So in this diagram again you can see the poles of magnet are not facing each other, rather they are placed at an inclined angle to each other. This is actually the difference between Gauss and Faraday's method, because in Gauss method homogeneous magnetic field is produced, but in Faraday's method, an inhomogeneous magnetic field is produced. Tension creates in the spring in case of paramagnetic substances, then mechanical control up and down, and we can find force acting on sample due to magnetic poles. In Guy's method, we have a simple chemical or analytical balance, and we place some small weights on the right plane of the balance to observe any weight change. But in this case, we have a mechanical control or scale, and the needle moves or slides up and down, and from the scale that is attached to the needle tells us about change in weight. In this case, we don't find weight change in the case of Guy's method, but here we directly find a force acting on the sample. Relaxation of the spring in case of diamagnetic substances, and find their force acting upon it by magnetic pole indicating mechanical control. So if a substance of susceptibility other than zero is placed in a region where strength of magnetic field changes with displacement around the axis of symmetry, that is mentioned as S, then the substance will be subjected to a force along axis as given below. F is equal to mass into gram susceptibility into applied magnetic field into uh, derivative of applied magnetic field over derivative of center axis of. In this case, F is force acting on the sample, M is mass of the sample, psi g is mass or gram susceptibility, H is field strength, that is strength of applied magnetic field, and H over S is field gradient along the S axis, and delta H is change in applied magnetic field. Field gradient refers to variation in magnetic field with respect to position, and again the same diagram is presented here. The same diagram is represented here, but uh, one thing has to be mentioned then, that is the S, that is axis center of symmetry. This method was conveniently used by Marie Curie in his classical studies related to magnetism. He studied changes in magnetism with temperature. For his correlation between magnetism and temperature, Curie uses the basic idea of Faraday's. Now we shall see a modification of Faraday's method. This modified method is known as Suck-Smith's modification. This modification was made by Suck-Smith, so it is called Suck-Smith's modification. The sample may be mounted or attached on a torsion arm, which shows relaxation. Displacement of the sample due to the effect of magnetic field can be observed directly by a mirror or by a lamp or by a simple scale arrangement. In this In this slide, you can see at the bottom there are poles of magnet, and the dotted line that is vertically shown in this diagram is and at the end you can see there is a small rectangular solid portion that is showing uh, the sample. The torsion arm not region only relax or contract, and you can see there is a ring or brain, and you can see there are some two mirrors. So whenever there is a right or uh, left movement in this ring with the increase or decrease of weight of the sample, that displacement can be viewed or observed by the help of two mirrors that are facing each other. Ring shows clockwise or anti-clockwise movement to give information how much sample attract or repel. Movement less in case of diamagnetic case, so less displacement covered. Movement greater in case of paramagnetic, so paramagnetic case, so greater displacement is covered. Advantages of Faraday's method. Now we shall come towards difference or comparison of Gauss and Faraday's method. Gauss method, the principle is apparent weight of a substance in air is greater in the presence of applied magnetic field than the absence of magnetic field. यानी पैरामैग्नेटिक का वेट इंक्रीज हो जाएगा और डायमैग्नेटिक मटेरियल का अप्लाइड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड की प्रेजेंस में वेट डिक्रीज हो जाएगा। जबकि जो फैराडेज का प्रिंसिपल है इसमें जो मैग्नेट्स हैं वो मैग्नेटिक पोल्स जो हैं वो एक दूसरे के साथ इंक्लाइंड एंगल पे हैं सो दैट टू प्रोड्यूस एन इनहोमोजेनियस magnetic field. Number 2, Gauss method is based on weight balance, and Faraday's method, poles of magnet are inclined towards each other. Number 3, homogeneous mixture is used because in Gauss method we record volume susceptibility, but in case of Faraday's method no need for homogeneous packing. On inhomogeneous mixture can also be used. Gauss method is less convenient while Faraday's method is more convenient. It is less sensitive, Gauss method, while Faraday's method is more sensitive. फर्दर गाइस मेथड इज़ लेस रिप्रोड्यूसिबल क्योंकि हर दफ़ा हम एक तरह की पैकिंग नहीं कर सकते, किसी दफ़ा और जो है वो क्लोज पैक हो जाएगा, किसी दफ़ा लूज पैक हो जाएगा। जबकि फेराडेज मेथड जो है इसमें वॉल्यूम से फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, इसलिए ये ज़्यादा रिप्रोड्यूसिबल है। लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ मटेरियल इज़ यूज्ड, यूजुअली 1 ग्राम, जबकि जो फेराडेज में है वो 0.1 से 10 मिलीग्राम तक यूज़ किया। अच्छा, ये रिपीट हो रही है बात, होमोजीनियस पिछली स्लाइड पे भी गुजर गया और इस स्लाइड में फिर से आ गया। इट इज़ इजी फॉर मेजरमेंट एट लोअर टेम्परेचर, जबकि इट इज़ डिफ़िकल्ट जो फेराडेज है इसको क्यूरी ने टेम्परेचर इफेक्ट के लिए डिज़ाइन किया था, हाई टेम्परेचर पे ज़्यादा रिजल्ट देता है। गाइस मेथड जो है वो लेस एक्यूरेट रिजल्ट देता है, जबकि फेराडेज मोर एक्यूरेट। अच्छा, force depends on packing of sample. Force is independent of packing of sample and depends only on total mass of the material used. Force can be related to volume susceptibility. In case of Faraday's method, force can be related to gram susceptibility. Gauss balance is a station instrument permanently set up on a bench since it requires a large, powerful electromagnet, while Faraday's balance is high temperature magnetometer ranging from room temperature to 1250 kelvins. Sample is placed in a glass tube, while in case of Faraday's method, we use a quartz capsule. The difference in weight denotes force acting on the sample, but in case of Faraday's method, we can directly record force acting on the material. For Gauss method, with minute sample, more errors can be produced, less chances of error in case of Faraday's method. Sample is in powdered form, but in case of Faraday's method, sample can be used in liquid or solid. Uncertainty in measurement is 2 to 5% in case of Gauss method, and there are uh, less than 1% chances of uncertainty in case of Faraday's. And at the end, there are some questions, that is, what is Faraday's method? Explain its principle, construction and working in detail. Secondly, what are the advantages and disadvantages of Faraday's method? What is principle of Faraday's method and why we modify Faraday's method. ये मॉडिफिकेशन तो लास्ट स्लाइड में गुजरी है, लेकिन उस मॉडिफिकेशन का वहाँ पर कोई एडवांटेज नहीं गुजरा। تو اس پہ آپ کو تھوڑی سی ایکسٹرا ورک کرنا پڑے گا، سرچ کرنا پڑے گا، تو اس لیے ان کو آپ ڈھونڈنے کے لیے آپ کو تھوڑی سی ایفرٹ کرنی پڑے گی۔ اس کے ساتھ میں اپنے لیکچر کو کلوز کرنا چاہوں گا۔ تھینک یو سو مچ فار یور پیشنس، ویل سی یو ان نیکسٹ لیکچر۔ اللہ حافظ۔